Okay, so this works. Well, all right. I think we know news, that's easy. Important events on TV, radio. How about a piece of writing in a magazine or even on the internet? If you read something on the internet, you can read, repeat with me, article, an article. Can you see my screen or can you hear me? Okay, all right. Can I control it from here? Yeah, an article, a newspaper article, magazine article, an article on your favorite website. Let's say a news article. We talked about these. Oh, okay. We covered a lot of these actually. All right, well, how about this one? How about this one? A synonym for news, a synonym for news. What's happening now? An affair, a current affair, a current affair. How about right now in the world? What's a big current affair happening in the world right now today? What's a big news item? How about like in Russia and Ukraine? What is the current affair in Russia and Ukraine? Yeah, a war. Something like a war, that's a current affair. Something big, important, happening right now. Can you think of something else big, important, happening right now in the world or in Vietnam? Another current affair, another problem in the world, a war, anything else? Maybe during the summer, we had the Olympics, that would be a current affair, but now that's a past affair. All right. Try to be a little, try to think a little bit more on your feet. You need to answer quickly in an IELTS test. Um, well, all right. Well, how about these kinds of stories? Maybe current affairs. Those are like wars or like COVID or election, something like that. But an article, a news story about people. Oh, we named our boy after a song. We would call that human interest, a human interest story. Oh, a cat was saved from the tree. They saved the cat from danger. Oh, that's a human interest story. A baby learned to ride a bike. Ooh, human interest. So nice stories, good news, usually good news. Um, how about this kind of stories? Maybe at school you would have this kind of story. Reports about people's private lives, talking about people. Am I talking to myself? I think so. Yeah, gossip. Do you like gossip? Great. So yeah, gossip stories like that. A synonym for an article, in a newspaper or magazine. We have a column. Um, let's get a few of these. All right. Let's see. If we need to, we'll come back to that. Let's go ahead and take out your that PDF and open to page 17. All right. Well, we already talked a bit about news articles. Well, yeah. Why don't you tell me? What was the last time that you read? What was the last news article you read? Either on the internet? Yeah, probably on the internet. What was the last news thing that you read on the internet? Um, look over here. I should always do this. Yeah, a news article. Go to Google and oh my, you can see here. A news article. Something to read about the news. A news article about sports. Oh boy, these websites are terrible. Uh, it's impossible to get a nice website. Is there something wrong with your television or your microphone? It sounds awful. Well, all right. We'll just do a static. Well, all right, news articles. And tell me, what was the last news article that you read? Was maybe about a celebrity? Something a news you read about a celebrity? News you read about a video game? News about a YouTuber? Yeah. What was it? Was it entertaining? Was it fun to read? Was it informative? Did it give you information? Was it irritating? Did it make you angry? Or something else? So what about 7-Eleven? What was the story about? Was it a problem at 7-Eleven? Was it something exciting about 7-Eleven? They opened up many stores, they're successful. Was there a robbery? What happened? You read it. I didn't read it. Okay. Need to try to think of something to say, something that you read. Do you not read anything, or do you not read online? What do you like to read? I like to read about. I like to read about I like to read about world news. The last news article I read was about the war in Israel and Palestine. Uh, I thought it was irritating because so many people are dying, and that makes me upset. So I said, "What was the news article? What was the subject? How did I feel? And why? How about something you read? What was it about? How did you feel? And why?" You said you like gossip. What about some gossip that you read about? What was it about? How did you feel? And why? All right. Good. Your idol won an award. Try to give more detail. Try to give more detail. My idol, she's a pop star. She won an award for best singer. My idol, he's a professional video gamer, and he won an award for Gamer of the Year. Giving more details. More details improves your lexical score, your vocabulary score. Well, let's see. Do you prefer current affairs stories or human interest stories? And why? Again, we said current affairs, bad news, bad things happening in the world. COVID-19, war, bad things. Or human interest, oh, good news, good news. Scientists discover cure for cancer. A kitten made a funny face. What do you like to read? Bad news or funny good news? Current affairs or human interest? Human interest stories. Let's try to use this vocabulary we have here. Uh, Human interest stories would be good news. Current affairs, sad news. So I really like human interest stories. Why? Again? Okay. All right. That works there. Gossip columns, bad pages. Why don't we skip on to question three? Do you like to catch up on personal news with friends? I think catch up on, well, what happened with this? Well, to catch up on, to talk about what you and your friends have been up to. What did you do on the weekend? What did you do on the summer? Let's catch up. Let's catch up on your personal news. Do you like catching up on with personal news with your friends? Okay. Well, how about, do you like to talk problems through with your friends, with them? If you have a problem in your life, do you like to talk about the problem with your friends? Do you like to try to solve the problem with your friends? What? To get your friends' advice? Get advice from them? Okay. Well, all right. Good, good. Yeah. And talk through problems with them. All right. We'll do a little warm up there. Let's see. Let me skip past that. All right. We're still looking at part one style questions from Ielts. Let's take a look at let's take a look at some of these kind of questions. Now, for part one style questions, we usually want to speak for at least 20 seconds for for each question. But not longer than a minute. So don't talk too much. Don't talk too much. But give a detailed answer for these style of questions under part one. So speak at least around 20 seconds. So that gives enough time for giving full answer, but not getting into detail like in part two. I think we talked about number one already. I think we beat in newspapers enough. So how about the second question? How do you prefer to learn about news events and why? All right. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. That's right around 20 seconds too. Good using the vocabulary from today. Yeah, using current events about current things happening in the world. Um, Speaking of, let me set you. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, let's move on. Well, how do you share personal news with friends? Again, personal news would be like, oh, I got a 10 on my exam today. Personal news. Or, oh, my cat doesn't love me anymore. Oh no. Personal news, personal news. How do you how do you like to share personal news or personal problems with friends? A phone plan, maybe a phone plan. All right. Good, good. Yeah, using social media platforms, text messaging services. All right. Good, good. Um, let's see. Well, how about our third question here? Do you like hearing your friends' news? Why or why not? All right, good. Yeah, better understanding with friends. Connecting. Good, good. Yeah, good full answers. Good full answers. Doing well with this part. Sorry. Well, good, good enough with that. Well, I would say here, taking a look at our fluency, how you spoke through this. I think your speed was well. You did well with your speed. Not too fast, not too slow. Um, Using phrases like well, actually, fluency markers. I think you did that as well. You didn't really repeat yourself too much. Uh, and you tried your best with expanding your answers. Well, great, great. Well, let's see. Nothing out of this, really. Um, all right, good enough, good enough. Um, all right, we've been practicing a bit. We're talking about the news. Let's look at an example of a part two speaking. Part two. You look at your chat right now. You mentioned you like human interest stories. So describe a piece of good news you've heard, or a piece of good news you heard from others. Uh, uh, as you uh, Again, we want to. You should say, of course, these things. What the news was about. When did you get this news? Where did you get the news from? And why did you think it was good news? Now for part two speakings, you can take notes. You can take some notes and prepare for about a minute, for about 1 minute before speaking between 1 and 2 minutes. At least 1 minute, but not too much more than 2 minutes. So think about this. Think about this. Take some notes or make some notes right now, and then we'll see when you're ready. We'll hear from you. It's been about a minute. You can take a little bit longer if you need. Oh, sorry. Well, all right. Well, let's go ahead with whatever you have right now. It's been much longer than a few minutes. To describe a piece of good news, you think? Mm-hmm. all right. Good with that, good with that. We covered all the points. That's good. Task completion, that's good with that part. Just with coherency, when we think about the coherency score, try to limit maybe the amount of repetition you did. When you were giving us all the details about what your brother did to get his good marks, like he studied, he spent hours, this and that. Maybe just keep it to like one or two examples for that, because that's not one of the main points that you need to cover. And maybe during a test, maybe the examiner would stop you at a point. Because for a while you were going, trying to think of other things to say. You already said enough. You had already said more than enough. So just be more confident in what you're saying and just try to push through. Try to push through. Because that was a bit more than 2 minutes. But good overall, good task completion, and did try to use some lexical features or some good vocabulary, strange words they use. Okay, I think we pushed through most of this. Let's see, how about to finish up with this unit, and then we'll talk about something different next time. Um, I want to look at another task too, or let's see. Let's see, why don't we do a little practice with this topic with part three style. For part three, try to limit your answers to about 60 seconds, about 1 minute or less. But here giving a little more detail than a part one. Again, this is maybe more about society, about your community, your neighborhood, about your country. Not so much about you. So let's continue talking about the news. Do you believe everything you read in the news? All right. How about in Vietnam? How do most people get their news in your country? Yeah, I think most people read to a chair and sign in online these days. What about TV? How about TV? Do you think TV influences or changes the way we think? So you said maybe the elderly people, the old people, and the young people, young, young. All right, all right. What about children? Children. Should children be allowed to watch a lot of TV? TV or YouTube or online content? Okay, all right. Well, let's see. How about one last question? You mentioned earlier that you have idols or famous people that you like. Do you think famous people, do you think idols have a responsibility to act as role models for younger generations? Uh, role model, maybe that's a word. Let's take a look here. Young people, as someone who is a good example, someone who's a good example for others, a leader, a role model. So so again, what was our question again? Our question was, do you think famous people have a responsibility to act as role models for younger generations? So what kind of style? I know young people follow it, but when we say a role model would have usually a very conservative style, maybe someone who cover, maybe if it's a woman, not very sexy, tries to keep very hidden, or if it's a man, don't no tattoos or no piercings, things like that. Do you think celebrities must be like that, or do they just do what they like? Oh, okay, all right. I guess that could be an example of being a good role model. All right, all right. Well, I think we kind of finished up talking about that. I think we had some trouble talking about our feelings, how we feel about things in detail. So next time, I think we'll focus more on feelings and go from there. Um, I think that's all for tonight. We'll see you next time, okay? All right, yeah, bye bye.